that shit needs to stop. Stop it.
Stop it. Tell him, coach.
Brett Favre, man, they're not bringing Brett Favre. Look, Mike Martz is the offensive coordinator there. No quarterback is going to come in on a whim, grasp that offense. It's impossible.
Especially Mike Martz's offense.
Yeah.
I was reading about, or like watching ESPN about dumbing down the playbook for Caleb Haney.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best move for them. Would be to dumb the playbook down so he doesn't so he can minimize mistakes. And I think that's what they're doing with Alex Smith in San Francisco.
Yeah, and man, Alex Smith. Oops, sorry. Alex Smith, that's a guy. It's the professionalism, Dom.
Oh yeah, it's all about professionalism.
We'll get. Don't worry, guys. This whole football faction will be much more professional here in the next couple of weeks.
I doubt it. It will. Number 4, Matt Moore. He's been on fire.
In fuego, that guy's a beast.
Another
Oregon State guy.
He like earlier in the season. I mean, you couldn't fucking.
He was on a waiver wire, that's for sure.
He was always on the waiver wire. But he just found a spark and just started lighting it up.
Here's the thing: is like some quarterbacks need time. They need time. They need real game time experience. He was on Dallas's roster. We couldn't. This is years ago. Really liked him. Was hoping that he would pass waivers and be on our practice squad. Didn't happen. And Miami. Or wait, no, it wasn't Miami. Who picked him up? Or was it Miami?
Who?
More. Miami did pick him up from Dallas, or they were. I could have sworn he played somewhere else. Either way, sorry guys. Either way, he hasn't had much game time experience. Dallas really liked him. He had a good arm, and it's starting to show now. I think Matt Moore's another great ad down the stretch, and Miami is playing with a will to win.
Yeah, he's developed a huge rapport with Devon Bess. I mean, because they've been without Brandon
Hawaii, I think.
Right, they've been without Brandon Marshall a couple games, and but I think he's back. But I mean, if you have Devon Bess, I mean, he could be a good play.
Absolutely, yeah. Devon Bess, one of those guys that he's not going to burn anybody or anything like that. Doesn't wow you with any single thing, but is just a really good all round wide receiver. Runs great routes and has real sticky hands.
And he gets you return yards. If you're in a return yards league, I mean, he gets you returns too.
And the thing with him is, I mean, that goes back to his college days. He played in that Bean, I think it was Bean, whatever his name is. No, Jones. June Jones, yeah. That June Jones offense, which is all about precision routes, precision cuts, and you got to have good hands. So definitely.
And they got the Eagles this weekend, so the Eagles are just they are just in the shitter.
Yeah, Eagles are in the shitter. I do believe Michael Vick is going to be coming back this week, so that adds a little spark for them.
Yeah, he will be coming back.
Okay, so that's but their secondary, their much ballyhooed secondary, hasn't proven to be as beastly as
Nnamdi Asomugha. I think I'm not sure his status, but he's been ailing.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Nnamdi. I'm going to get this wrong, I know I am, but he is either a great zone guy and a shitty man guy, or a great man guy, a shitty zone guy. I can't remember, but the way he was utilized in Oakland, whatever that was, and I can't remember if it was man or zone.
It was working, obviously.
Yeah, he's a beast at it, but they run the exact opposite in Philly, and he's been exposed.
Right.
So I apologize for not knowing exactly what that defense is, but
rounding up the top 25 or top 5 ads is Donald Brown. They apparently DeLone Carter wasn't working for him.
Yeah, DeLone Carter, that was a guy that going into the season, a lot of people were high on. I know that Old Bears, Jerry and Glover were really high on him. I never really saw. I think it was only because of opportunity. That's the only thing I could see. But outside of that, I didn't see what the big deal was about him. He seems like an average running back at best to me. So yeah, Donald Brown. But again, I mean, that's a team that's in the shitter as well.
Right. So they're playing anybody and everybody.
Right.
They're probably playing fans right now.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, he's had 14 touches every game. 12.5 points against the Jags in Week 10, 16.7 points against the Panthers, and then 12.6 against the Patriots. I mean, they have a shitty defense, but this week they got the Ravens, which. I mean,
they got the Ravens and a die. I mean, a die. He's still gonna be splitting carries with a die. So yeah.
And, oh my god, dude.
Oh, that's because it's actually ringing. I'll cut that part out.
All right. But they're playing the Ravens in Baltimore, so I don't think he's an option.
No, not at all.
Not, I mean, but he is getting added in a lot of leagues, maybe for later down the road. I mean, they do have the Titans and the Texans, but they have pretty good run defenses as well.
Yep, and I tell you what, just to piggyback on some of those, if you're this is pretty much if you're looking for holes to fill or that guy that can maybe carry you in the playoffs. I know a lot of people are decimated with injuries. I've got a pretty good overall fantasy team, but injuries have also started affecting me. I've got Adrian Peterson down, I got Javid Best is down, and so you got to look for these guys that can potentially you can plug in. I'd say obviously if you're having quarterback trouble, you need to go ahead and spend a few bucks on TJ Yates. He's not going to blow it up on the points, but it looks like he's definitely a viable option there. And with quarterbacks few and far between as it is. Also, we mentioned Marion Barber. That's a definite add. Another kind of sneaky should be on a roster, I would say, is probably Isaac Redman in there in Pittsburgh. I really, really like this guy, but it's going to be an opportunity sort of thing. I think he has potential to maybe help in the fantasy playoffs. And here's another guy that should probably be on a roster. But if Baltimore is showing that they are going to be able to wrap up the North, seeing as that they beat Pittsburgh twice,
they might be resting Ray Rice and putting in
Ricky Williams. Man, yeah. I think you need to this guy.
He's an old guy, but he
looks good.
Getting it done.
He looks real good. So you need to add Ricky Williams. Moving on to receiver, a couple of guys that I really liked, especially them showing this past week, and one of them really hurt me was Andre Roberts for Arizona.
Looked real good. He had a huge game.
Yeah, he looked good, running good routes, catching everything, and it looked like Cobb was relying on him. So definite add. And another guy I've really liked, but I will say this is more dynasty purposes, isn't going to be much of a fantasy playoff thing, is Kyle Williams there in San Francisco, undrafted guy. I've added and dropped this guy probably 2 or 3 times in our league. He'll get you a touchdown one week, and then Smith won't look at him. He'll end up dropping him. Then he'll get you another touchdown. But I think if he can become more consistent, there's a potential sleeper guy. So this Kyle Williams, San Francisco, is going to be a guy you want to add before the season ends in hopes of next year. Another guy that made an appearance was Golden Tate. Really great touchdown grab there in the end zone. So I know he has been a non-factor, but you got Sidney Rice who's out for the year, so maybe Golden Tate can give you a little production. Hakeem Nicks was not, this guy isn't on a waiver, but it was nice to see Hakeem Nicks. He had one beast catch, and Charles Woodson even gave him some dap on the one he had. So,
but I'm sure he's 100% owned.
Oh, 100% owned. I was just because last week I was talking about, man, is he now relegated to being the number 2 guy with Cruz being the number 1? So it was nice to have a sighting of Hakeem Nicks. But yeah, those are just a few guys that I'd be looking at. And that's it.
What?
Yeah. What are we going to move on to now?
I don't even know, man.
I don't even know either. Let's see. Are we going to do the IDP corner?
Sure.
Because I got a couple guys that I've just got to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. Real quick, I'm just going to run down a few guys. On the defensive line, Daquan Bowers, Tampa Bay, had a beast game last week. 7 solo tackles.
He was filling in for Michael Bennett.
Filling in for our injured Bennett. 7 solo tackles, 1 assist, 1.5 sacks, and a pass deflection.
And I'm a Buccaneers fan. No, not a lot of people even thought he was even going to be playing ever.
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy who was a high first-round pick, but due to injuries, fell in the draft. And I think Tampa Bay got a steal with this guy.
They really did.
So I was reading some stuff. Bennett sits out some more. He did this game against Cam Newton, who runs a lot, so that can probably skew the solo tackles a little bit. But next week this week coming up, he gets Blaine Gabbert, and I think Gabbert has been I forget the stat.
Eat his ass.
Yeah, Gabbert has been sacked on like a ridiculous amount of third down dropbacks. So Daquan Bowers is a big time sneaky ad. I'm trying to get him in our league as it is. Another guy that I actually kind of liked is a weird name, but Linval Joseph, or Joseph Linval. No, yeah, Linval Joseph. What a weird ass name. The New York Giants defensive tackles every once in a while will get you some points. This guy, 9 solo tackles against a pass happy Packers offense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me raise an eyebrow. He was a 2nd-round pick last year, and he's really starting to emerge. So it's definitely a guy to look at. If you have the roster space, go ahead and add him because, I mean, you can't look past 9 solos. A guy that's really coming on for the Houston or pardon me, for Kansas City is Justin Houston. He's a rookie pick.
I think that was the guy that wasn't he the guy that injured Matt Forte?
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Because it wasn't Tamba Hali. It was another outside linebacker.
Yep. Yeah, it was probably Houston. Then 7 solos, 3 freaking sacks. Again, this was against Caleb Haney, but still 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and a pass deflection. So definitely a guy to look at. And then here's a pretty good sleeper for you. The New York Giants have had so much trouble at linebacker. It's been ridiculous. They lost linebackers early in the season to injury. They were starting a rookie, Greg Jones, there in the middle linebacker. They were originally hoping he was doing 2-down stuff. But
you talking about the guy that intercepted the Rodgers pass for 6?
I'm talking about Chase Blackburn coming off his couch and playing in this game. He was originally a Giant, but then was dropped by the Giants. He ends with 3 solos, 4 assists, interceptions, and 1 interception, 2 pass deflections. I mean, just something to look at because they have been hurting so bad at linebacker. So
right, I saw Eric Mangini break this play down, and it turns out that he blew his own coverage, which put him in position to make that interception.
Really?
So in essence, he
got dumb luck.
So yeah, exactly. In essence, he got lucky.
Well, nonetheless, still someone I would look at. But
sorry to burst your bubble on
that. You totally bursted my bubble, you son of a bitch.
Patrick Willis.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge injury.
Though. Oh my God! If you have Patrick, everybody who plays IDPs has Patrick Willis because he's a tackle machine. Yep. He's not leading the league in tackles. Guess who's leading the league in tackles?
Navarro?
Your old boy.
Oh, London
Fletcher is leading the league in tackles.
London Fletcher was an original Zen master, and it was kind of funny this year. He was the only player left on my team from my original team that I drafted in 2003. And I finally had to drop him. It was a sad day. We had a ceremony. Not really.
You had a ceremony.
Yeah, I did.
And everybody else in the league is like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're homo.
It was so sad, though. And then I drop him, and he's just been going beast mode ever since. So, yeah. But one guy I want to mention, bro, and I'm so glad that I jumped on this because I've been hurting at linebacker. Colin McCarthy, Tennessee. Okay, here's how this broke down. Who was the linebacker? My mind just went blank. Who was the linebacker in Tennessee that ended up going to? Stephen Tulloch. Last year, Stephen Tulloch was the #1 linebacker in fantasy football. According to we do 2 points per solo, 1 point per assist.
That needs to change.
I agree with that completely. So Tulloch goes to Detroit. Barrett Ruud comes to Tennessee and takes over that middle linebacker spot. So I was like, dadgummit, I lost a lot of points there. Well, Barrett Ruud he wasn't performing very well, gets a groin injury. I was like, I'm going to pick up this guy, this Colin McCarthy guy.
He scored you a lot of points last weekend.
Bro, he's not just scoring me a bunch of points last weekend. I want to tell you how many points this crazy asshole's scoring. Over the past few weeks, solo tackles, 10, 7, and 9. Assists is 0.30. Forced fumbles, 1.01. Fumble recoveries, 0.02. 1 interception, and 2 pass deflections. This guy is such a freaking beast. And the hit, did you see the forced fumble that he did on Fitzpatrick? Dude, Fitzpatrick was scrambling around.
Oh, I did. That was him.
Scrambling around.
Yeah, he
blew him up.
He ate his face.
Then, also got the fumble recovery. Like, he is non-stop motor. This kid is a freaking beast. Obviously, someone's got him. I'm sure he's not on your waiver. But if you are able to acquire him through a trade or something in the offseason, or something, you need to get this guy because I think this guy is a future Patrick Willis, and I'm not joking about that at all. This kid is nonstop motor beast. So
he's from the U.
Is that? Yeah, he is. Fourth round pick.
Fourth round pick this year.
Yeah, dude, beast.
Yeah, the guy's averaging 22, 23 yards or 22, 23 points a game in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
he's just been off the charts.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
and I think
Saints, Colts, and Jags for the next 3 games.
And you know what? Linebacker-wise, those aren't the best matchups simply due to the run games aren't the Jags, that's probably a good matchup. But right. The Saints and Colts, but this guy, I don't care.
He's just all over the field.
He's everywhere, man. So, you got to pick that guy up.
Yep.
So, fuck yeah, that's our IDP corner for this week. We're trying to do better on IDPs. Neither Dom nor myself are fans of IDPs simply because I don't like the impact that they have on the overall scoring. I think
And mine just sucks. So.
yeah.